Here we go.
Well guys, here we are. That's the Cessna. Let me see if I can... It's a modern one. So that's really cool. It's so good flying weather. It's amazing. I don't know if you guys can see, but just a few cumulus clouds.
Lovely weather.
It's lovely. And she's excited.
I am very excited.
So this is what she has
We
to
just
say.
had a little tour in the hangar. Look at the other Cessnas. Talked about that we're going to do a walk around. Then we're going to do the official procedure to take off.
With a checklist and stuff.
So excited.
So it's really going to happen. And that's Cessna.
That's not the flight instructor,
Thank you
by the way.
all for
Guys, it's
donating
amazing.
for this goal. We are thrilled to be here today.
We really feel that you guys are here right
Yeah,
now with us.
we
We're gonna fly traffic patterns. We're gonna fly over our hometown. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
So peace out.
See you later.
See you later, and let's enjoy.
Bye.
That's the flight instructor. That's Rob.
Come on.
So local flight club and a beautiful Cessna Skyhawk. Actually a little bit more advanced. It has a HSI rather than the standard heading indicator.
Yeah, and we were kind of lucky actually because we were supposed to fly in a different Cessna, but the magnetos needed to be replaced, so we had this one. It was actually
Exactly. It was also much more, it resembled much more the X-Plane 11 Cessna Skyhawk. So the grayish kind of back cover firewall color.
So and he's doing his walk around here and explaining everything, and maybe you guys all know this, but for me it was really new also to see, like this thing that he points at right now, how it takes up the wind and how that is related to all the primary instruments. So for me it was also kind of an eye-opener to see, oh wow, this is where the plane gets the information from. This is
Exactly,
input for
which was new, which we didn't cover in your
Yeah,
lessons. Also, by the way, this is all in Dutch, obviously, so that's why we are chatting in English on top of the video, just to give you some information here. So the flight instructor is here, telling a little bit about the pitot tube. And now he's going to tell about the stall warning, the stall. He's going to suck on it too.
Oh, dat is wat de ene.
Ja, dat is
Oh ja, dat.
So you could hear the stall horn. It's, which is really nice. It was really a kind gentleman.
Yeah, also so enthusiastic and just enough
Which is so important, right? Yeah. He was really connecting with us and allowing us to just play around and ask questions, which was really great.
And basically, I could do everything I wanted.
Yeah.
He was really very much in control, but I could try everything that I asked. But even, I didn't have any good requests, of course, but no, I could even help landing and stuff like that. So, but you will see that later. But it was like from the first minute onwards, it's like, okay, you can handle the yoke, you can make all the turns, everything.
As it should be.
Yeah, so that was so much fun.
So here he's going to do all the walk around. Well, I guess most of this is already covered, I know. As an 808 pilot, you know about this, but it's really nice to see him tell about, again, the basics, fundamentals of flight, ailerons, now the flaps. So he's telling about how you can use the flaps for landing, but also for takeoff. And at this point, we chat to each other and say, oh, do you also need 10 degrees of flaps with the takeoff then? And he said, well, it's actually recommended. It's not in the POH.
Ja, maar we zagen dat wel dat toen we laatst naar Finland vlogen, dat de KLM dat ook deed.
De grote vliegtuigen, ja, die doen dat, ja.
Het is dan wel zaken, briefjes.
So perhaps we should also, a little bit reflect, I guess, on our own checks. I've learned some new things as well from this flight, which is quite interesting. We will cover, I will mention those as the video progresses. It's nice to look at the video again.
This was just yesterday.
It's
so weird. So what we're basically doing is checking whether there are no loose screws or anything like that, which is kind of weird to realize that could even happen.
Yeah.
But of course they were.
Oh yeah.
It's just a mechanical structure, and it just works. It flies.
Leuk hè. Het is zo gaaf.
This
Ga door.
part was new for me.
Ondanks dus dat iemand net
De
nu
trim.
net
This
gevlogen
thing.
heeft, is
Oh
het
ja,
ook
de
belangrijk.
That's the trim.
Yeah, that also something moves on your plane.
That's something that I check with my flights before I leave. Is when I look at the tail, when I do my checks with the controls, then I use the trim wheel to
Ja,
see if
precies.
that thing.
Yeah, so that was new for me.
De eerste vlucht van de dag, zeg.
Ja.
He was really thorough in his explanations.
Dus het wieltje waar je denkt, dan
Yeah,
gaat
but
deze
good.
zich bewegen.
Thorough.
Yeah,
Not
good
like
thorough.
too much
No,
information.
yeah.
Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect balance.
It's
En
just
dan
an
alleen
experienced flight instructor who was
Ja,
excellent.
het is
Waarom-
niet een andere vleugel, want het is...
And he was also excited about flight simulation. That was also
Yeah.
important, by the way.
That's also cool. Yeah.
De kracht.
And amazed by the donations, guys. So he was totally new, obviously, to Twitch and online flying.
Met de hand. Dus als je op kruissnelheid vliegt, meestal 95, 100.
This was usually a military base. As you can see, there are hangars just behind the flight instructor there, where actually F-16s were based, which are not there anymore. Now it's become a civil airport. Civilian airport, I mean. Civil.
Hetzelfde verhaal.
Pand ziet er goed uit.
What was also weird for me is because it was very nearby our hometown, we could ride our bikes to the airport and we could
Yeah,
ride all the way to the runway on our bike. And that was also weird.
yeah.
And that
Ook
all
zo
the
mooi dat je
gates
het echt
opened.
aanraakt, hè?
And
Echt met je
Ja.
handen eroverheen. Ja, dat
Ja.
Dat is niet verplicht, maar dat
nee,
is mij een goed gevoel.
snap ik.
So
snap
here
ik, snap ik.
I'm asking or noticing that the flight instructor really uses his hands to touch all of the surfaces of the airplane, not just looking at it, but really have a feel for the airplane. He says, well, that's not really mandatory, but I like to do that, just to guide my attention. It's checking the oil.
check.
Die is warm. Hups.
Oh ja,
5
Vijf
chords,
koorts is
barely.
voldoende.
Dit kan dus met die wrap, met die
Grappig.
extension.
It was like we were in a
Okay,
candy
dan kan je
shop.
het ook weer
It was so cool, and it was also fun for me to see her being so interested and curious about how the
Ik
thing
ga er altijd
works.
met handen even doorheen, dan weet je.
But
als
this,
een
you need to
ding
check
slag
with
zo
your
van,
hands
weet je,
to
dat
see if
is
there are
Dents.
very
Zo
small
geworden.
dents
ja.
or
spinnen.
no birds
Het is vast met
nests in the.
schroefjes, dus nooit geen kracht opzetten, maar ik voel altijd even of die vast zit en aan de propeller trek ik hem
I'm gonna feel if the front nose wheel has a, I don't know how you call it in
Oh, yeah.
English,
oliekoeler is vrij.
damper or something like that. That it's
Veren.
yeah, veren, yeah.
Dat gebeurt, hè? Dat gebeurt dus echt. Hè?
I
Er zijn
don't-
echt filmpjes ook op YouTube.
Bird nest indeed.
Bird
And also the alternator. Apparently there's a band or some kind of a thingy there,
Van de accu, zeg maar.
Oh ja.
where the battery get its charge from.
Zet je voeten maar eens op de pedaal.
There we go. I climbed into it.
Kijk, nog verder naar voren. Dan mag je de stuur omhoog halen en dan mag je hem zelf even naar voren.
And
The
this
cockpit.
was
You can see the
so
HEI. It was a
weird.
Ja,
beautiful Skyhawk.
dan is los.
My feet could barely touch the rudder.
Vast bij de handen.
And I was sitting just at the back, behind Mireille, and I had all the space. It was like I was in business class. It was wonderful for me.
Business class.
Inderdaad.
Mag jij deze gordel wel even?
Ja.
Helemaal op jou.
Yeah, exactly. The nose suspension kept in black. Exactly.
Moet je hem even helemaal terug doen. En dan als hij doet,
I was so.
ga ik hem even starten, want deze start een beetje.
No GPS, Minimum says. Exactly. Well, it has some kind of a GPS.
It also didn't have an autopilot.
It did have an autopilot. No, it didn't.
It was broke. I think I heard him say.
Oh,
that.
it was broken. Not a good.
Not a set.
Not a good first sign. So here you witness for the first time the Skyhawk start up.
Yeah.
Again, this is new for Mireille, right? It's the first time she's ever been in a small GA aircraft.
So we were doing the checklist, which was very nice to see that that's actually how they do it.
Yeah, exactly.
We were going to taxi.
Oh ja.
And you were taxiing, actually.
I was
You are actually taxiing a Skyhawk for real.
Yeah.
How was that? How was it like?
Surreal.
But was it different? Was it?
The biggest difference in general between the sim and the real life was that you need to push a lot harder
A lot of more pressure. Yeah.
in real life, yeah. But also on the yoke, on everything. So that was the biggest. You had to step a bit harder.
So this
And I
is actually
practiced a little bit
Mireille.
of the
Oh, yeah.
turns also where you brake just on one wheel. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
even do that in
differential
the sim,
braking.
so,
Yeah.
that was also really nice. Yeah.
Before takeoff. So that's me totally freaked out, excited. Straight out departure, runway 05. And Mireille is gonna take off.
Well, no, not really.
No.
No, he's
Okay.
doing.
Okay.
En dan stoppen we weer normaal bij de rem. Op de grond.
already did the Mac tests and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Which was quite familiar. One thing that he didn't do was lean the mixture during taxi. Also not during flight, but I guess we were doing all kinds of turns, so then the mixture needs to be full in. So he now briefs Mireille about rotation speed, 65. But now she may push the throttle. She goes with her feet on the pedals and the yoke. He's now saying, turn a little bit to the center line, Mireille. Yep, there she goes. Watch the speed. And there she goes. And you were flying.
People say there's something up with the stream title.
Oh, that's true. Well, I will look.
Yeah, and it was perfect weather.
It was perfect weather.
So when we took off, he said that we had a visibility of about 50 kilometers, which in Holland is very rare. So it was
Look at your face here. You're
amazing.
smiling all over.
Yeah.
All over.
I still cannot grasp the idea that we flew over.
B2 is saying, did you remember to set the clock? That's the airport.
And he taught me to do all these kinds of turns. And then we were over the clouds. So it was actually nice. It was very clear weather and sunny and everything, but there were also enough clouds to really get this like Aladdin feeling.
And you were flying. He was allowing her to make turns, climb turns, descended turns, coordinated turns. And it was heavenly. It was really like being Peter Pan.
He also had a very good idea of what we wanted, and he really planned the flight. So, okay, now we're going over the clouds, now we're going to turn that way, so that we had really the best visibility. What I also really liked in a way is that we did those turns and those practice things also always in not so populated areas. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, that makes sense, of course. But on the other hand, I also thought, is there a chance then that this doesn't work? But
Yeah,
it's
well, these
good,
are good
you know,
considerations, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the stall.
It's stall. That was, I didn't know what to expect. So
Power, throttle idle. And there the speed goes.
like, yeah.
It's so pretty, and I again, I was so pleased that we were flying with this Skyhawk. There goes the stall horn. There we drop.
But he was so in control.
Yeah.
It was-
I was flight instructor, just a very experienced pilot. You're saying that that was a little bit of a thrill, but you're really excited. That's what she said. Here.
Yeah. So what I also noticed that
Home city.
that it was more scary to make left turns than right turns, and it really differed quite a lot.
Because you're at the lower.
Because we had to do 30-degree turns, so quite steep, and then you're really like hanging over the edge and looking to the ground, and that's more scary than the other way, but it's so much fun.
Traffic patterns, that was up next. Just a few laps. So we're now flying to downwind. You can see that he's pointing now to the runway, just in front of us, perpendicular to our track. So we're going to fly all the way down to the right here, like we would in the flight sim. 1,000 feet, AGL.
So one of the things that was different from how we do it in the flight sim, like I think European regulations, is that you have different zones where you need to
Oh yeah,
announce yourself.
arrive. Yeah, I need to arrive
But
here.
really specific spots, so not like a radius or anything, but really there was a small lake, and that was the Tango. That was the first spot.
The
where
Tango reference point.
Yeah.
And that's different from the US, where you can just enter a downwind turn. But here in Finnish G has talked about this as well.
Yeah.
Here in the Netherlands, you need to report at a particular lake, report at a particular city, and then you move on to downwind. So we're flying now to base.
Thanks, Heike. It was so great.
She's flying on base. She turned the flaps and the stuff. She's trimming. We also had some trim lessons, by the way.
Trim lessons,
I had no time to film it all. I was also doing photographs and I was sitting behind trying to capture everything, preventing to get myself nauseous.
I was
Actually,
doing the flaps also. Yeah. So what was also so surreal is that people were quite close nearby the landing
runway.
runway. So when we were landing, they were all like looking and wow, this plane is getting close, and people are actually
And you were flying
it.
the thing.
I was flying in it. That was so weird. Well, together with my instructor, of course. But
So coming in
so there were
from base to
people like
final.
really on that
Here on that road there.
path, so close to the runway.
So he's explaining here, which is also quite important again for me as a reminder, that making a good landing or a traffic pattern is all about energy management, right? So you use pitch to change your speed and use power to change your altitude. So what he's now showing me, right, we're descending. Rather than using pitch, he's just using now a little bit more power to get a better glide slope going. Because otherwise you might stall, right? So just fundamentals again is a good refreshment, at least also for me.
And also the trimming now makes much more sense to me. We also did the trimming and stuff like that, and he also removed the trim, so I really had to do everything by the yoke, and man, you need to push harder. Well, Frank says he can't hear as well.
No,
Is it this speech or of the movie? Because the movie that's supposed to happen.
exactly.
If it's the
No, I think
mic.
it's just about us. Our voice is good, but I set the video volume
sure,
a little bit
yeah.
louder because it's just Dutch and we are going to chat over it because otherwise no one can understand what we're saying.
So, but I really had to use full force to pull on the yoke, and still it wasn't enough. And he said, "Well, you need to push or you need to pull," and I just couldn't. And we're landing, and it was. I kept saying, how do you call it? How do you say it in English? It looks like it's real. You know, I kept saying it looks like it's real.
And we all, as sim pilots, we all recognize that experience. So here you can see she's actually flying now on her own, using also the throttle. He's giving guidance, 65 knots. She's now on the throttle as well with her hands. So she's flying here. That's the final lap.
But I'm doing the yoke only, of course. The instructors.
And that's already shut down. This is also interesting. Mag check. I've read about that too. Some pilots think that it's actually damaging for the engine, but it's to check whether the magnets are actually working. So you just switch it off and to the start or to both very quickly.
Switches off.
It was also so weird that we removed the gas quite a few times, or almost completely, or the throttle pulled it back out. And then you really get that gliding feel. It was so.
Good night.
Yeah.
Mag je die uittrekken?
And then it was already finished.
Was a bit weird to me to do the cutoff here, rather than
also-
setting the.
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, also putting on the brakes that you really have to pull the thing out.
The parking brakes,
The
yeah, yeah.
parking brakes, yeah.
Eerste reactie, meid. Wat vond je ervan?
Oh, ik vond het echt super tof.
She's saying that she was really excited.
Goed gedaan. Maar je ziet wat
Frank.
het verschil is, hè? Dus het is nogmaals, het is een brain exercise bij ons thuis. Nee, maar dat ook. Maar
And back we are, Mrs.
did it.
Uncertified. Yeah, you did it. What's your? I want to have the Skyhawk in the background.
Oh my god.
What? Tell us, how did it
It
go?
was so much fun. It's surreal to see your
Surreal?
own home and steering and feeling all the wind. It's
She did
amazing.
great.
We had a very good instructor as well. That really helps. He really explained everything very clearly.
He surely did.
We stalled, we did everything. A little bit of landing on the yoke.
Downwind stuff.
I
You did.
don't
You did
use
it.
the words for it. Again, thank you so much for your donations and
Thank you,
making this
guys.
possible. This was really a very great experience.
A memorable experience. Well, it was. And for me as well, as a passenger, I've made 1,000 photos. I made over 20 video recordings. I'm hoping that it turned out right, because now everyone is already watching. I've seen the final cut, obviously.
Yeah.
But once more, thank you so much, guys. This was awesome, and you did great.
Thank you.
This is Uncertified.
Flying is so much fun.
Get our
Here
logbook.
I get my logbook. My first
official hour of
lesson.
flight training.
That was so much fun.
I was so proud. I'm still so damn proud. Awesome.